Match fixing, corruption, state interventions. The stereotypes you got in the past about Albania's football mostly had negative connotations for the longest time, because it seems like that Albania's football is finally heading into the right direction. Hello and welcome to the second episode of FOOTOUR, your football world trip around the globe here on YouTube. I'm your host Björn, and today we take a look at the first European country of the FOOTOUR series, Albania. Even though the Albanian people were isolated from the rest of the world for the longest time of the 20th century, they never lost their passion for the beautiful game. And football is by far the most popular sport in the country. Let's start with a look on some historic milestones in the development of football in Albania. The first documented match on Albanian soil took place in the early stages of the 20th century. A British Maltese priest introduced the game to the students of a Christian missionary in Skoda. The first official football club was founded in 1912 in the same city, Independența Skoda. The northern Albanian city can be considered as the birthplace of Albanian football. But the focus quickly switched to the country's capital Tirana when KF Tirana, Albania's biggest club to this date, was founded in 1920. New clubs formed throughout the country, and the Albanian Football Federation, the Federata Shqiptare e Futbollit, or in short without breaking your tongue, FSHF, was founded in 1930. The same year saw the first Albanian championship played out by 6 teams. Tirana became the first Albanian champion. Under the rule of dictator Enver Hoxha, the whole game was reconstructed in typical communist fashion. Clubs went through a rebranding. For example, KF Tirana was renamed to 17 Nentori, which translates to 17th of November, the day Tirana was freed from the occupying forces, or clubs received new names like Lokomotiv, Red Star or Puna, the Albanian translation for the word work. But this wasn't enough for the Communist Party. They needed clubs that represented their state departments. The Ministry of Interior founded Dinamo Tirana, the Defense Department Partizani Tirana. Both clubs with a big impact on the domestic football until today. Enver Hoxha's Albania first boycotted European club tournaments, but with the announcement to compete in European competitions, Albania created a decades-long time span of headache in the UEFA headquarters. Albanian clubs withdraw from competitions without explanation. The real reason is assumed to be the logistics of traveling abroad with a big delegation consisting of players, officials and members of the secret police, while being one of the most paranoid and poorest nations in the world. When the Albanian national team traveled to Iceland in 1990, they got arrested at their stopover in London Heathrow. Albanian players were caught stealing merchandise worth around $3,000 in the duty-free store. When questioned what made them do it, they said they only understood the second word free of duty-free and thought they could take what they want. The last time Albanian football made international headlines was in 2018, when Skender Biokorç was punished with a 10-year ban from European competitions by UEFA. At least 53 cases of match fixing were proven by Europe's governing body. And since we are already looking at one of the biggest Albanian clubs, let's have a look at the domestic competitions of Albania. Albania has 3 domestic competitions: the Super Cup, the Albanian Cup and the League. Cup and Super Cup are very similar to other national cup competitions, so let's take a closer look on the league. The league system is organized in 4 tiers. The first division is called the Categoria Superiore and consists of 10 teams. Each club faces the others 4 times in a round-robin format during the season. The champion qualifies for the Champions League. The second and third best placed teams qualify for the Europa Conference League. The 2 last placed teams go down to the Categoria e Pare, the second division. Most successful club of Albania is KF Tirana, with 25 championships and 16 cup wins. Dinamo Tirana has won 18 championships and 13 cups, while Partizani was champion 16 times, plus 15 cup trophies. A total domination by the capital city clubs, you might think, but with 9 championships and 7 cup wins, Vllaznia Shkodra holds up the flag of northern Albania, Skender Biokorç the flag of the south with 8 championships but only 1 victory in the cup tournament. Because of KF Tirana's domestic domination, they are the most experienced club on international level. But it was Skender Biokorç who advanced the furthest in the European competitions, when they reached the group stage of the Europa League twice in 2015 and 2017. Let's have a look at the federation and the national team. Albania played its first official international match in 1946, a close 2-3 defeat against Yugoslavia in the opening game of the 1946 Balkan Cup. But the next 2 games were victorious, so that Albania won its first important piece of silverware. A very promising start for the national team, but from that moment on, it took them almost 70 years to qualify for a big international tournament, the Euros 2016 in France. Even though they only won 1 game in the group stage and had to pack their bags afterwards, the participation and the first victory at a major tournament were a milestone in Albania's football history. Albania is a FIFA member since 1932 and in 1954 UEFA founding member. Their biggest rival is Serbia. I guess most of us remember the scenes of September 2014 when Serbia hosted Albania at Partizan Stadium in Belgrade. A drone with an attached flag depicting independence fighters and the Albanian eagle on the silhouette of Greater Albania was hovering over the stadium. A clear provocation to the hosts, who are known to be very nationalistic. And the Serbs, they were triggered. The home crowd flipped out, invaded the pitch, attacked the Albanian players, and the game had to be abandoned before halftime and was counted 0-3 in favor of Albania. Later on, a nationalist Albanian fan admitted to the stunt and he got into real heat for it. Due to a Serbian arrest warrant, he had to spend several months in Croatian prison. But lucky him, he did not get extradited. The Albanian Federation gets equipped by Italian sports manufacturer Macron. The latest jersey features the Albanian eagle in a simplified, pixelated style. A piece of pride for every Albanian. And who are the players who wear the jersey? Roma's Maras Kumbala and Bergamo's Berat Jimciti are currently the most valuable players of Albanian origin, with a value of over 20 million euros each. Tomas Strakosha, Lazio goalkeeper with 141 Serie A games, is the undisputed #1 in the Albanian goal. El Said Husay just parted ways with Napoli, and I'm very curious where he will play next season. Italy's Serie A can be considered the dream destination for most Albanian players, but the biggest prospect for the future chose England to develop his career. Armando Broja, who was on loan at Dutch side Vitesse Arnhem in the last season, is now part of Chelsea's U23. The three players with the greatest value in the Albanian league are Pepi Georgiev, Sheriff Kalaku and Davy Bregu, who even was last season's top scorer in the league. They all play for last year's champion KFT Utah from the city of Durrës, Albania's port to the world. The average annual salary for footballers in Albania is around $13,000. The highest salary ever paid was around $20,000 each month when Edgar Kani transferred from Pisa to Partizani. He got into a scuffle with his gaffer, which ultimately resulted in the termination of the contract. Too bad. Was well paid. Luri Kana can be considered the greatest Albanian player of all time, and the list of his career stops reads like a who is who of the European club football. PSG, Olympique Marseille, Galatasaray, Lazio, Sunderland. Very nice clubs to have in your vita. Altin Lala and Altin Rakli both can be considered cult players in Germany. Erjan Bogdani scored the most goals in the Albanian jersey. Panajot Pano, he was awarded the Honor of Nation by Albania's president. Nain Kroesio was part of the first Roma squad that won the Scudetto, the Italian championship. Loro Boriki tried his luck at Lazio in the 40s. He was part of the Balkan Cup 1946 winner squad and is one of the most iconic players and later coaches of the past. Such a great player that Vlasnia Škoda named the stadium after him. Albania's football infrastructure is in a transformational phase at the moment. The old stadiums of the communist era slowly give way for modern arenas. The most iconic stadium is the newly built Arena Combatare, the national arena in Tirana. Due to sponsoring reasons, the stadium is named after Albania's new national carrier, Air Albania Stadium. Tirana's top clubs normally share the Selman Stermani Stadium. Partizani will make a move to the north of the capital, where the Complexi Partizani, the club's new home, is built. Another stadium to fall in love with is Škoda's Loro Boriki. The separated stands behind the goal oddly add a certain charm. Cities like Kukës or Fia are currently building and planning new stadiums too. The Albanian Federation gets a more representative headquarter itself. The modern office building in Tirana will also feature training pitches and a small stadium. Albania has a great variety of support: plastics, regular fans, ultras, hooligans, but on a smaller scale compared to the big leagues. KF Tirana is the most supported club in the country, followed by Partizani. Since Dinamo Tirana went down to the second division almost 10 years ago and stayed there for the time, they missed out on almost a whole generation of new supporters. Clubs from smaller cities like Vlasnia, Tijuta or Skenderbeu have decent fan scenes themselves. But the biggest rivalry in the country goes back to the capital. It's the derby between KF Tirana and Partizani. Their ultra group, Tirana Fanatics, and Partizani's group Guerrillas are known beyond national borders. Even though the fan groups don't like each other on club level, when it comes to the national team, they all unite. Tifozat Kukesi, the red and black supporters, are the official ultra supporters group of Albania's national team. Football in Albania is definitely heading in the right direction. Like the country itself, Albania's football is hungry to grow, and investments made into the domestic football infrastructure are the foundation for that. And not everything is perfect. Claims of match fixing and money laundering are still too present in Albanian football. Albania first needs to get a hold on all the shady businesses that happen under the cover of football and get rid of those who are responsible for that. Alright guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the Albania episode and stay tuned for the next one when we visit the first country in Africa, Algeria.